For Time with Myriad, you got Coach Jared and
Coach Marta.
love it. Today we are talking about the level method, more
Yeah.
specifically assessments with the level method.
Ooh.
This is something we haven't talked about in a while.
Nope.
So the level method is new to us as of last July. So we just hit like a 1-year anniversary.
Oh yeah.
I know it feels like we've had
That's so great.
It feels like we had level method forever because like that's
know.
what we've been coaching and programming off of. But it really has only been 1 year since we did this.
Yeah.
High level. What is the level method?
Oh my gosh, what a big question. The level method is so awesome. It's the programming that we use at CrossFit that works for CrossFit. And what level method does is it breaks down the workouts every day into multiple variations of the workout to match every different skill level, no matter who's coming into the gym. So at a traditional CrossFit gym, you might have an RX and a scaled workout only, whereas
just one workout.
Or just one
which
workout.
is what we did for the first 10 years is like, here's one workout.
I'm glad I didn't.
You
wasn't
scale
here
as
then.
you see fit. And it's like, I don't know how to scale anything because I just joined here.
Yeah, scaling is hard.
It is.
It is hard to know what to do. So we get 8 different
7 to
options,
8 depending on a
7
day.
to 8 different options every day, which you can also mix and match.
Correct.
Yes.
And with that, there's a big giant map. There's one here. We also have one there. It's an 8-foot map that has 15 different tests on one side, 32 different categories, and within that's a 7 to 8 different, which is what Foundations is. We'll take people through in their assessments, which we'll talk about here shortly.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, level method is GPS for your fitness.
Yeah.
And it's been absolutely phenomenal for us from an onboarding perspective, from a retention perspective, from people who've been doing CrossFit for 12, 14 years with us.
Yeah.
We've had
Accessibility.
Yes, and we've had a lot of people returning to us who are former CrossFitters, former members with us that have returned to us because they have talked to other members who are still with us and have said like, hey, they've got a new system called the level method and it's night and day difference. You're not going to hurt yourself. You're going to be able to scale accordingly. You're going to be able to build your own progression to where you want to go depending on where you're at in fitness.
Yeah.
So that was very high level, and actually we got deep of what level method is. But we want to talk specifically about the assessments.
Yeah.
Which I accidentally kind of hit on already.
That's okay.
So what are the assessments? What is the flow? I guess let me ask this question. How does someone join us and onboard with us?
Yes. So when someone first comes in to join Myriad, we have a consultation with them initially to kind of talk about what their goals are, what they've done in the past, what they haven't done. And we get a mix of people. So some people are coming to us, they've done CrossFit before. And some people have never done any CrossFit, but they've maybe done something else like Orange Theory or, a boot camp type class, or they've not really done much fitness at all. So it comes in all different levels. What we recommend...
All different levels. I like what you did there.
Yeah, that was definitely intentional. What we recommend for everyone, no matter where they're coming from, is to go through our foundations. Yeah. Foundations, our onboarding process. And the reason is you hear the word foundations and I think that can sound a little bit like
boring,
or we're teaching you beginner stuff as if you don't know anything. But the onboarding or the foundations process is really adapted to the individual in a lot of ways.
100%. It's almost kind of like we're not gonna, but like a test in, or like you're essentially testing your current fitness level.
Well, you're getting your baseline.
Correct.
That's how I tell everybody about it, is like we're assessing your baseline of fitness. And that gives you a starting point. So no matter where you're coming from, if you've done CrossFit a bunch, if you've never done CrossFit, if you've never done any fitness, you know where you're starting from.
Yeah.
And that gives you a more clear idea of what to do to get towards where you're headed.
Love it.
So everyone goes through that. They get 4 one-on-one sessions. They're 60 minutes each. And they're a little bit akin to personal training because you are getting one-on-one attention with a coach. Everyone goes through the same processes in these sessions, but depending on where you're at with your fitness, you're going to get coached or, customized a little bit with your assessments. So in each one of those assessments, or in each one of those foundations, you're going through, it's about like 3 to 5 assessments per day, depending on the day. And people who haven't really done CrossFit before or any fitness at all, most of them are coming in and testing at the lower levels. So thinking white through orange, maybe a little bit into blue, depending on what they've done. Folks who have done CrossFit with us before, we might be testing them into some higher levels. So they might be testing in between orange and brown, even, depending on where they're at. And then you get a mix of people. I've had people come in who have done weightlifting before, but they've never done high intensity fitness. So they might be testing some higher levels for the weightlifting portions if they're familiar with that, but maybe some cardio stuff that we're still testing some lower levels. So we really customize the experience to what you're starting with.
And just for those listening who might be someone interested, that sounds like a lot.
Yes.
We handle all that. And that's
Yes.
where like it's a relationship-based training system where you come in, you get a coach, you get a foundations coach. That foundation coach is trained in the system, and we walk you through all this. So you literally have to show up in athletic clothing and maybe bring a water bottle, and that's it. We
Yes.
take care of the rest. You don't have to do anything else, and it doesn't matter your fitness level at all. We take care of the rest.
Yes. We warm you up. We have a conversation with you to see where we think you're probably starting from. And then we pick a level that we want to start with. We'll teach you whatever the movement is. We'll check your movement, make sure you're moving safely and well. So even if you've done CrossFit for a long time, you
really
maybe
good
haven't
refresher.
had someone like actually look at your kettlebell swing in a long time, you can get some really nice cueing on proper hinging, proper kettlebell swings, which is really helpful because you don't always get that in the group classes.
I just took a fitness trainer through Foundations who's joining us, and she was blown away of the technical conversations, the technical fixes I was offering and putting her through.
Rowing is one you might not always get.
Squatting, push-ups, just the small little details. That's what we're hitting in those foundations to make you move better for the rest of your life. So this is where I joke around all the time where it's like, even if you've been doing CrossFit forever, you might want to redo foundations. Like foundations isn't just for someone who's brand new. If you've been doing CrossFit forever, like you can take foundations right now to retake your assessments if you wanted to. In fact, that's something we don't really market to, but that should be something we market to as well. As like, hey, if you want to redo all 15 assessments, come take foundations with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll freshen things up a little bit too. Like work on the basics. What is it? Virtuosity, becoming commonly well at the uncommon. I think something.
Becoming uncommonly well at the common.
There you go.
Yes.
I think so.
We'll double check what it is. But so there's a lot of other nice things about foundations too that I want to hit on. You're with the same coach throughout the whole process, and that coach, once if I'm taking someone through their first day of foundations, I follow up with you in an email and I give you tips about everything we went through that day. I'm going to tell you, what did we assess? What level did you get? How many reps did you do at what weight? And then any tips that I mentioned to you while we were going through that session. So maybe it was a tip about like, hey, feel free to elevate your heels in your squat to help you get a little more depth. These are good times to do it in classes. I'm going to put that in the email too.
Yeah.
So we're giving you tips to help you be more successful as you step into classes as well, which is really nice.
Totally. So with that, what is the current flow of our assessments right now? So say, for example, you do foundations, you come through foundations, you graduate foundations, right? And then after that, how do you continue to level up or take assessments? Does that make sense?
Yeah, good question. The opportunities actually come up all the time.
Yeah.
Some of the assessments you naturally just kind of hit in classes. Some of them are planned, and then we have group assessments. So I'll start first with...
And you can do some on your own.
And you can do some on your own,
So like open gym, like there's a mile run test, there's a 20-minute row test in certain areas of the chart.
Right.
There's a couple other tests that you can potentially do on your own as well to level yourself up.
Yeah. Let's start with group assessments because I feel like that's the easiest to understand and then work our way down. So global assessments is when the entire gym goes through assessments together. We've done this at the gym before. I think we've done it 2 times right now. And we've done it as a 2-week period in the past. We did get together as a team and kind of talk about how those last 2-week global assessment periods gone, like what do we want to change to make this more impactful and more beneficial for our community. And we've decided that we will be narrowing that to 1 week of global assessments in the year. This is all fluid, so it could change at any time, but this is what feels right now. So the next ones are going to be September 8th through the 13th. You can mark your calendar now if you want. And that'll be 1 week of just testing. So just going through the assessments. We'll hit all 15 of those within that week period. And it's kind of your annual check to see where you're at, what has changed in the last year, all that good stuff. What have you maintained? What have you fallen off of? Etc.
What are other ways for people outside the global assessment? What are other ways for people to get tested?
Yeah, so along with that too, Level Method naturally programs in assessments each month. They program like 3 assessments each month.
Got it.
We feel like that's a little bit much for our community, so we decided 1 assessment each month is what we're going to have programmed into
so it's like a
the
focus.
schedule. Yes, so it's
Very
a focus for the month. You've seen that this month with squat endurance. So we've been working on the squat endurance assessment all month, and next week we'll have the opportunity to reassess squat endurance.
Okay.
So if you've been coming to classes pretty regularly, you've noticed that we've been doing either maybe a lot of goblet squats, Bulgarian split squats, or that 20 rep back squat max that we've been building towards, and you're kind of progressing that each week. And then the hope is that you hit whatever your goal is in that final week and you get to level up.
Love it.
Yeah.
What else are we missing on the assessment side of things, or Level Method as a whole?
So the other part with assessments is you can also reassess naturally in classes sometimes.
Yes.
For example, the weightlifting assessment is one where, depending on what you're doing in class, the weightlifting assessment is a total. So you might know that you've leveled up your weights. Actually, the weightlifting one is a bad example for this. I'm going to use front squat. The front squat one you're doing, I think it's sets of like 8, 5, 3, and then 1 are the different levels. So if we're doing sets of 3 front squats in class that day, and you surpass into the next level, you can go ahead and change your score in Level Method because you have leveled up at that point.
Weightlifting is the same thing. Like if you're snatching and all of a sudden you snatch a ridiculous amount, and then the next day you clean a jerk and ridiculous.
Well, that's true.
And it's like, oh, you add those 2 together. That's your weightlifting score.
Wouldn't be in the same day.
Correct. It wouldn't be the same day. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super pumped because every single time I've taken somebody, I shouldn't say every single time, a lot of the times I've taken people through foundations, they're like, why don't more people know about this? Why don't more people like, why don't you guys talk about this more? It's like, we try to tell everybody. But like foundations has been absolutely amazing. It's a GPS for fitness. It's your current baseline. It's not maxing out. We're not trying to push people and then they soar for days. It's just like, all it is just get on the map. And then once you get on the map for all 15 of those assessments, then you have an actual color. So then when you come to class, you look at our board and we're going over the whiteboard brief and there's 7 different colors up there. If you're red, or sorry, red's not a good example.
Bad example.
Yeah.
If you're orange.
If you're orange, then you're doing the orange workout. And then you can also mix and match a little bit. Maybe you want to do a little bit of white, which is a little bit less of the orange. And like, so it gives you a roadmap of what you should be doing with your fitness. And the foundations has been fantastic for us.
Yeah.
So if you're new and you're interested, let us know, sign up. If you've been with us for a really long time and you feel like you want to retest your assessments, let us know. We'll get you signed up for foundations. And if you're somewhere in between those two, let us know and we'll get you signed up for foundations. And we have a really good, strong foundations team right now, coaching team, which is, has been a smaller team and now it's a decent amount of people who are teaching foundations and they do a phenomenal job with that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
Get
your assessments in. Don't be scared of them.
Anything else on our list?
Oh, well, we can tease what's happening in August for assessments.
Okay. I like teasers.
Do you want to guess?
Well, I know because I just looked at your note card.
Wow, dang it. Well, I'll tell you, it could be one of 3 things.
Okay.
It could. We're possibly going to assess weightlifting.
Okay.
Or maybe running.
Oh.
We have been running a lot
We have been running
recently.
A lot. That'd be good. And it's
or
outdoors.
my favorite assessment.
It's the worst one.
API, aerobic power intervals.
It's the hardest one.
I love API.
I don't know why that's your favorite. Because
I choose pain.
Destroyed every time after doing that one. And I feel like I destroy clients when they do that one.
Yeah,
so.
me too.
All right, we're done. 3, 2, 1, time.